This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder that Capital One Bank Guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also tell you about how Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bankguy. Capital One N.A., member FDIC.
Brought to you by the Spam brand. I'm about to drop some sizzling hot knowledge, everybody. Did you know there's a blue can loved around the world with festivals dedicated to it? That's right, it's Spam Classic. The cultural icon went from fueling the world in the 1930s to earning its own museum. And today there are 12 mouth-watering varieties like teriyaki and Korean barbecue flavored, plus the original Spam Classic, ready to fry up in your favorite dish. Fans everywhere, keep sizzling it up, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Spam brand, sizzle pork, and Learn more at spam.com.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know, a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh, and there's Chuck and Jerry's here, and this is Stuff You Should Know.
You were headed right towards something brilliant. I saw you stop yourself.
I didn't have anything, so I just let it die right there in front of everybody.
Hey, before we get going, we want to plug a couple of podcasts from our colleagues.
Yes.
I had a hand in both of these.
Nice. Congrats.
Sure. I think this is probably the last thing I'll have a hand in ever.
Why is that? Are you dying?
No. I mean, we're all dying. Nothing imminent, but I don't know. The door, doesn't often knock for voice acting. Mm-hmm. Although you never can tell, but I did a piece of voice acting for Lethal Lit Season 2 premiere. And if you don't know what Lethal Lit is, it is technically it's called Lethal Lit: A Tig Torres Mystery Season 2, and it just debuted yesterday. Season 2 did, but it's great. It's like a sort of a old school Nancy Drew teen detective type of thing. But modernized. It's got a little more punch, but, it's still family friendly.
A little more punch. I've seen a little more bite with the emphasis on little.
It's really great.
Yeah. So it is it's the kind of thing, from what I understand, that adults can enjoy, but it's also geared toward younger listeners too, right?
Yeah. I mean, they say it's like Nancy Drew for Scream fans.
Oh, cool.
But the people who make it are awesome. And Heather Einhorn created it a couple of years ago when I was still doing development stuff. I met with her, and she rang me up a couple of years later and said, "Hey, how about doing a piece of voice acting for the season premiere of Season 2? And I did, and it was so much fun. I got to really get a juicy character acting type of thing.
I can't wait to hear it, Chuck.
I'm not just playing me.
That's great. Even when you played you, I thought you did a good job. You're a much better actor than you give yourself credit for.
This was a lot of fun, though. I wish I could do more of this kind of stuff, but I don't pursue it. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. So you can hear me in episode 1 of Season 2, which is out now on the iHeart Network. And then our buddy Joe Randazzo has a new show that's out.
Dun, 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 dun.
Tell him the name.
Dr. Sex Reese.
It is not family friendly.
No, you could have just said Joe Randazzo, and that would have gotten that across. Not family friendly.
Joe's a family guy.
He is one of the great comedic geniuses of our time, but he's not family friendly. No. So it's a blue comedy. It's very, very funny, but you don't want your kids listening. But it is about a call-in show. He's a sex therapist who has never had intercourse. And that's kind of all you need to say, and it's Joe, so yeah, it's great. I mean, you had me at Joe Randazzo, so
yeah.
And that's out now too, right?
It's already out, and I don't think I ever mentioned, in lieu of listener mail one week, I was going to mention it, but I forgot.
Okay.
Remember when I said I wasn't very into Calvin and Hobbes? I never read it?
You're right.
He left me a voicemail driving with his 3 children where they sounded like a fire torch wielding angry mob screaming at me about not getting into Calvin and Hobbes.
I told you.
I'm going to share it with you. It's very funny. Like his kids sound like it's like Lord of the Flies level upset.
It's awesome. His kids aren't family friendly either.
Chuck! Ah! It was really funny. But anyway, Dr. Sex Reese is already out. And then Lethal Lit, A Tig Taurus Mystery Season 2 dropped yesterday.
Well, congratulations to everybody. Congratulations, I think, most of all to you, though, for appearing on Lethal Lit.
It was fun. I wish I could voice act a lot.
I have a feeling you're going to get a lot more requests starting now.
Well, we'll see. People will be like, who was that guy? I'm not going to reveal anything about it, but
okay.
I did a very small part on Squidbillies a few years ago.
Oh,
and
yeah, I remember.
It was never released with me.
Yeah, that's like our kiss of death when you have us on your talk show. It gets canceled within a month.
No, it wasn't canceled. It was.
No.
I think our friend Dave Willis replaced me. I don't think I was very good in that one.
You got to replace. At least he did it quietly.
I never followed up with him. I should have asked, but I was ready to go in there and do some good like redneck voice.
Mm-hmm.
And because I do some good ones, and he said he's like, no, I just want you to just kind of be you. And I went, oh, Dave. He just gave me a soda pop and sent me on my way.
Oh, you got a free soda pop? Wow.
We love Dave and Squidbillies, though, so no shade there.
Okay. So welcome to the podcast for everybody who just fast forwarded through all that and got to the part where we started about littering. How about that?
Yeah, and this one was one of my picks, and I very simply thought of it recently because I was driving down the road in 2022 and saw a fully grown adult human throw a bag of trash out their window, followed by a cup of fast food soda.
Filled with dip spit.
So 2 different throws out of the car, and I just thought, my God, who does that? Mm-hmm. And let's see if we can find out.
And you ran him off the road?
No, I was just so upset, though. It's just so weird to see someone do that.
Yeah, I'm really, really working on not letting things trigger or flood me in my starting in my 45th year, finally.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious how well I would deal with actually seeing that. Like, I'm doing okay hearing about it right now. Like, I'm a little jazzed right now, but I got it under control. Actually seeing it, I don't know how well I could contain myself.
I was ticked off, but it's I try to let things go quicker, so it's not like hours later I was still like, oh, that guy.
That's good.
You know?
That's good. Yeah, that's
because you know what? You can't change that guy.
No, you can't. You can just run them off the road.
Yeah, or fine them.
If you're a government, sure. I mean, if you had tried to fine him, he probably would have laughed in your face. Although I'm saying it's just as possible, it turns out, Chuck, at least if this had happened in 2009, that it could have been she too, huh?
Yeah, statistically speaking, that is true, but I saw this guy's ugly face.
I'll bet he was so ugly and stupid. I'll bet his whole family was so stupid.
Yeah, I would have been so mad if he was handsome.
Handsome, smart people don't litter typically, unless they're Don Draper.
I wouldn't know. All right, let's do this. Litter, right?
Yeah, I think it was a good pick. One of the things that I love about this episode is it's kind of mind-bending. One of those Bernaysian surprises is wedged firmly inside this episode's topic. Don't you think?
I'm not sure I know what you mean. Oh, sure I do.
Okay. I was like, oh God, that's like 4 pages of this stuff.
No. I know what you mean now. I forgot who Bernays was. I was thinking about the sauce.
Right. You're like, it sounds good, but confusing.
Should we start with the word?
Yeah, let's. I thought that was a good place. Also, shout out to Dave Roos for helping us out with this.
As always, as ever.
Sure.
So the word litter with 1 T came from Old French and Middle English, meant a bed. With 2 T's, it was like a portable bed that if you were like a king or somebody, you could travel around on one of these. And I guess that's where a rescue litter comes from.
Exactly.
Okay. I thought, because I've always thought that was such a weird word for it.
It is very weird. It doesn't really make any sense. But the use of the word bed for litter makes much more sense because it comes from our friends down on the farm.
Yeah. Our farmer friends?
Yeah.
You talking about scattering hay?
Yeah. Like if you scatter hay for an animal to sleep on, particularly like livestock or something like that, you would call that their litter.
And there you have it. That's where it comes from. Like littering food out of your car derived initially from being a kind farmer and scattering hay for your little goats.
Yeah, because along the way, somebody equated like scattering stuff on the ground that you wouldn't normally want on the ground with the people throwing their trash on the ground. And so litter became used as litter. What surprised me is that that this started way back in the 18th century. I would have thought it was a much more recent phenomenon, but no, it isn't.
Yeah, Dave found something from a novel in 1788 that referenced the word litter as litter. If she is cutting a piece of gauze or paper, she's sure to make a litter all over the room.
Yeah.
So like a mess.
It was a literary reference to litter. So that's where the word litter came from. And I like the stories or the etymologies where there's some really great theories because nobody quite knows, but I find those less satisfying than the ones where it's like, here it is. Here's your answer, Fishbulb.
Yeah. Littering was not as big of a deal here in the United States, and I imagine in other parts of the world, but we're talking mainly about the U.S. with these stats. But until the 50s and 60s, because we were generally a culture of reusing things, and there were not nearly as many disposable things. A lot of glass, and Emily talks about her grandparents in Middle Ohio in the 1940s and 50s, and they reused a lot of stuff, and it wasn't like because of a green movement. It was just like people reuse stuff. Things cost money, and if you weren't like wealthy, you reuse things.
Yeah, I mean, even if you were wealthy, you typically reuse things. Like if you got milk, you would leave your empty milk bottles out, and the milkman would come along and replace the empty bottles with filled up bottles. And it would take those other bottles, clean them, and reuse them. Like, that was just how you got milk, whether you were wealthy or poverty-stricken. Didn't matter. And that was just the way that society was up until the post-World War II economic boom, where thanks to a lot of technology that we developed during the war, all of a sudden we had packaging that we could produce really cheaply and really efficiently, and no way to make a bunch of money off of it, until some enterprising, I guess, beverage companies and disposable packaging companies got together and said, we've got to figure this out because there's a lot of money being lost by this deeply inefficient reuse economy that we've got.
Yeah, and I know I've mentioned this once before, but I'm just 50 years old, and we could get milk in the store, but we also occasionally would go to a dairy nearby and bring milk bottles. It wasn't the milkman coming to your house, but we would go to a dairy and pull up and get our milk exchanged. And the other relic from the 70s that you probably remember too, that younger listeners might be shocked to hear, is the Charles Chips dude.
Oh, that canister of chips?
Yeah, you would get potato chips, Charles Chips delivered, and you would give them your big, it was like a big metal tin full of potato chips. And it wasn't like, it was a tin with a bunch of bags of little chips. No, it was full of potato chips, and you would get your potato chip delivery. It's crazy to think about.
We never had that. I remember the Schwann's delivery person. And then prior to 1990, if you wanted bottled water, it meant that somebody showed up at your house with like a 5 or 10 gallon jug of water, and you had a little water dispenser. That was bottled water before, and those were all reusable.
Yeah, we'll probably speak ill of single-use plastic bottles of water.
Well, I think you should. I think any sensible person sees the disposable packaging that really kind of drives a lot of our economy and a lot of the products that we buy as really problematic. And litter's just one aspect of it, but it's a pretty big aspect of it. But I think what we're saying here in total to begin is that litter is actually a fairly recent phenomenon starting in maybe the 50s, the 1950s.
Yeah, and Dave also points out that not only were we reusing things and just not having as many disposable items, but there weren't trash cans all over the place back then either, like there are now. And there weren't signs that say, hey, it's weird to throw stuff just on the ground when you leave. And he did reference that Mad Men episode, which is very funny. I remember when it happened, the Drapers were on a picnic And they got up afterward, and Don threw his beer bottle in the woods, and Betty shook the litter off the blanket
right
onto the grass in the park, and then they got in their car. It's hysterical.
And just leave it there. Yeah, the one that always gets me is that Anchorman thing where they're all eating McDonald's and walking, and they just all throw their trash down.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when that was, I don't know if it was ever acceptable, but it was certainly not like it is now. As far as, you were like shunned,
not frowned upon. But it didn't take very long for people to say, like, this is objectively ugly. Like, even if you were not taking the environment into account, which they certainly weren't at first, but in like the 50s and 60s, there were still people that were like, this looks terrible. And there were even like farmers apparently in Vermont were complaining that people are just throwing their glass bottles out the window. Because, by the way, even though you could still reuse some of the stuff, the companies producing these goods that were in like disposable packaging, they were encouraging people to just throw this away. Like there was what's the name of that podcast or that NPR show, Throughline? They did a really great episode on what we're talking about here, the development of teaching people to throw stuff away. There were actual like ads and commercials and PSAs that taught people like, okay, when you're done with this, just throw it away. You don't have to figure out a way to reuse it or wash it out, or you can just throw it away. And like people had to be taught that, which kind of goes to show how unnatural the whole thing is. But my point is that even at the time, Chuck, there were people who had problems with littering from the outset, even if it wasn't like a massive thing at that point, like a society-wide issue.
Yeah, and God bless Vermonters. You mentioned the farmers there with the broken glass for their cows, but they sponsored and got past the first, what would be known as bottle bills, when in 1953 they banned throwaway bottles. And this is where, the writing was on the wall for the beverage industry in particular. Was like, Vermont, they're a bunch of hippies, sure, but we can't let this catch on and get our product banned. We'll be in big trouble. And I guess we'll take a break maybe, because that's a great cliffhanger.
Sure.
And dive into our Bernaysian nightmare, right?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back.
Well, now, when you're on the road, driving in your truck, why not learn a thing or two from Josh and Chuck? It's stuff you should know. Stuff you should know. All right.
This is Tamara Judge from Two Teas in a Pod with Teddy Mellencamp and Tamara Judge. Can we take a moment to talk about Chewy? I get everything for rugby from Chewy. His food, the treats, I'm constantly reordering, the toys he destroys in minutes, even his supplements. And it always shows up fast. Chewy also handles the serious stuff, prescriptions, pet insurance, telehealth vet visits, and they're even rolling out vet clinics across the country. Their 24/7 customer service actually understands dog moms like me and cat moms, bird moms, reptile moms, all of us. And with Chewy's 1-year satisfaction guarantee, trying something new is never stressful. For life with pets, the answer is Chewy. Save $20 on your first order with free shipping at chewpanions.chewy.com/teapod.
Joy is essential, and it's also elusive. You can't order it, you can't borrow it, or simply hope it into life. But now, there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. It's a new podcast hosted by me, Hoda Kotb. Together, guys, we'll have meaningful conversations with the world's most fascinating people. Entertainment legends, sports icons, wellness experts, and everyday people will share how they find, allow, and experience joy. And I'll offer some of my own tips and takes on seeking a more balanced and harmonious life. If you're craving inspiration, support, and useful tools to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Joy after a breakup, joy as an empty nester, joy after a loss, joy as a caretaker. This new podcast will speak to you. Listen to Joy 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What did Black music, food, and culture teach us about who we were becoming?
2016 was sort of that last era of monoculture. where we still consumed things in community.
From Beyonce and Rihanna.
Everybody wanted to be Beyonce.
I don't think we'll ever see another Rihanna.
To soul food, memory, identity, and the stories we carry through Black culture.
What does it mean to be Black and eat in America?
So we were this group of people who knew how to work the land, who knew how to live with the land.
We make it do what it do.
Therapy for Black Girls is bringing together the conversation shaping Black life right now.
You will never make me feel bad for being a Black girl, for being a Black American girl, ever.
Therapy for Black Girls is bringing it all to the mic. Listen to Therapy for Black Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Alec Baldwin. This season on my podcast, Here's the Thing, I'm speaking with more artists, policymakers, and performers like composer Mark Shaman.
Once you've established that you have the talent, it's about the hang. It's the pleasure of hanging out with the people that you're with. You know, Rob and I was always a great hang. We would sit and kibitz for hours and then eventually get around to the music. That's what I mostly think of when I think of him, the time together laughing.
Lawyer Robbie Kaplan.
The great gift of being a lawyer is the ability to actually change things in our society in a way that very few people can. I mean, you can really make a difference to causes in the United States if you bring the right case at the right time. And
Marriage
win.
equality.
Yeah, Windsor's the perfect example.
Director Morgan Neville.
Film school teaches you all the wrong things about making documentary. What do you want to say? Documentary is all about your ear. What do you hear? I feel like my job is listening really, really hard.
Listen to Here's the Thing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stuff you should know.
So we're entering that Bernaysian nightmare now, Chuck. It's like a giant Goya painting of corporate interests.
This one's tricky because it is a Bernaysian nightmare, and we're talking about the creation of Keep America Beautiful.
Yeah.
But it all, like, I have very mixed feelings because the whole thing with Keep America Beautiful is a lot of big beverage companies got together, Dixie Cup, Coca-Cola, Owens, Illinois Glass Company, American Can Company, and they said, all right, we got to fight these bottle bills. And the way we're going to do it is through a PR spin to tell everybody that it's their responsibility to not litter. And in a way, it's sort of an evil plan. But in another way, I'm like, yeah, you should be individually responsible to not do that.
Right.
But then also beverage companies also have a responsibility that they completely shirked. So I get it, but I also think people have a personal responsibility. You know what I mean?
I think that's a very sensible way of looking at it because I agree with it fully.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing wrong with them coming up with Keep America Beautiful and teaching people to not litter. And then in conjunction with that, actually putting those garbage cans out and creating like a public service campaign that taught people, like, don't be a litter bug. If you litter, you're unpatriotic. They basically used every angle they could think of. The problem with it that everybody has an issue with once you find out about this is that it was the motivation, the intent behind it. It wasn't to beautify America. It was to keep the train, this disposable packaging train, going. Right? Like, Hey, everybody, stop throwing this stuff on the ground or else we're not going to be able to make this anymore. But even more than that, they took the spotlight off of the question, why is there so much disposable packaging to begin with? Why don't we go back to reusable stuff? That was working. And these companies are like, no, we are making 50 times more money with this disposable stuff because you guys are buying way more. And then it put the spotlight onto the individual person. It said, it's your responsibility. Stop asking about disposable packaging and just start focusing on your civic duty to not litter.
Yeah, and you sent me an article that had an interesting bit and we'll cover some more stuff in this time period, but by the early 70s, some more of these bottle bills were happening, and they weren't so much banning things, but it was like, hey, let's incentivize people to come back and turn in their knee-high grape bottle for 5 cents, which I also remember doing when I was a kid sometimes.
Me too.
And in 1974, California was considering a bottle bill, and Keep America Beautiful was like, whoa, this is big time because that's a huge economy out there. And they actually publicly opposed the measure for the first time. And there was a leaked story about the chairman of the American Can Company, William F. May, called bottle bill supporters communists.
Yeah.
And this is when the EPA pulled out and a bunch of environmental groups pulled out of Keep America Beautiful. And we're like, oh, that's like the light was kind of shining on them for the first time.
Yeah. That like, oh, these guys aren't really, environmentally conscious. This is strictly greenwashing for them. It was the first greenwashing attempt. And it was super successful, too.
Yeah, they spent $14 million over a 5-year span in the early 90s to defeat a national bottle bill. So Keep America Beautiful does some great work, but it's, you got to know what goes on behind this stuff,
That's absolutely true. And that's good that they are doing good work because they are basically the sole source for data about littering in America. At very least, they're the most robust source. But as Dave puts it, it's bankrolled by corporate interests.
Yeah.
But the people conducting these studies are actually like environmental engineers, and they're disinterested bodies insofar as, they're still scientists, although they're being paid.
Like they're not cooking the books?
No. And, it's a very, I'm just writhing right here. I can't, I just want this to be clear. Like, should I Keep America Beautiful or not?
Right.
But I don't, because they have had a huge effect on littering, demonstrably, a big effect on reducing littering and teaching people not to litter. It's just, again, for their bottom lines. That's the problem.
Right. And they are still the number one largest anti-litter organization on planet Earth. So there's something to be said for that. And they've had many ways to get their message out there over the years. I think their first little mascot was Susan Spotless, who shamed litter bugs early on.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't remember what episode, but early on in Stuff You Should Know, we talked about what it was known at the time, the Crying Indian PSA. Mm-hmm. Do you remember why we would have talked about that?
No, I don't.
11 years ago?
I cannot. I have no idea why that would have come up.
Well, what was the deal with that? It was sort of fake on many fronts, right?
It was. I mean, one of the big things was that Iron Eyes Cody, who was known for a while as America's favorite Indian, was not Native American by any way, shape, or form. He was actually a Sicilian-American actor.
Oh!
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That people definitely at the time didn't know. And that was problematic, not just because this guy was Sicilian, but that also the Native American that was being used in this ad, the very image of the Native American was just totally co-opted by this corporate group to, again, shame you into not littering, for you to feel bad, not them to feel bad, for you to feel bad for littering. And it also, the other thing that I saw that was a big critique of it is that if you'll notice, like the Native American Iron Eyes Cody, or the character doesn't speak. He's spoken for by a narrator. And so he stands mute, which I saw as a testament to his powerlessness.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't know what we mean, you can find it on YouTube still. It was a minute-long commercial where it showed this Native American in full, sort of traditional garb, paddling a traditional Native American canoe through what looked like the Cuyahoga River in Ohio. I know it wasn't there, but it couldn't have been any more industrial. With this sort of war chant kind of music playing in the background, it was kind of wrong on many levels, through today's lens. But, he's getting more sad as he sees how poorly the water is treated in the shoreline. And then he finally gets out and a bag of fast food is tossed from a car and explodes at his feet with seemingly an entire order for like a family of 5 of fast food. It's so much food. It's like, did no one eat anything out of that bag?
Yeah. And
then the single tear once you see his face.
Yeah, they pan up and his face is there and he's crying.
Which may have been fake as well, right?
Yeah. I think it was a glycerin concoction.
Yeah.
So, what's not great in today's view was like award-winning and groundbreaking back in 1971 when that ad came out, and it had an effect. It had a huge effect. The Ad Council, who I helped produce that PSA, apparently had to send out replacement reels because the original ones were getting worn out because they were being played so often, as the longstanding anecdote goes. But it
ran forever too.
Yeah. I can't remember the last time I saw it, but I definitely saw it on TV at some point as, a cognizant person,
Right. So it was created in 71, and I remember seeing it throughout the 1970s.
Mm-hmm. So if you're like, was it really effective? Stop and ask yourself if you feel guilty at the thought of littering or at the act of littering itself. Yeah. And if your answer is yes, it's because the Keep America Beautiful group did a really good job putting the personal responsibility of not littering onto us.
Yeah, which again, it does make sense that it's just a shame it couldn't have been sort of a hand-in-hand type of approach.
Right. The Park Service also got into it too, Chuck, with Woodsy the Owl. Did you see that clip I sent you, that ad?
Yeah, I used to love Woodsy.
Sure. How could you not? Give a hoot, don't pollute.
Yeah, I got a Woodsy sign at my camp.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I like the 70s version. Have you seen the updated version?
No, I don't think so.
He's kind of buff. He looks like he could beat you up. He's almost like buff in the way that Ned Flanders is buff. Like a wholesome buffness that is strangely menacing.
Weird, a buff owl.
Yeah. Great point.
The other thing that Keep America Beautiful was successful at was lobbying for litter laws. And so, now there are all kinds of fines for both littering and the most reprehensible kind of littering, which is dumping. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite bands of all time, Grandaddy, has a song called Broken Household Appliance National Forest, where Jason Lytle's a big outdoorsy guy, and their lyrics are about a forest just littered with appliances and animals living in them, and it's not like it's obviously admonishing tongue in cheek, but he's sort of like, it's got a nice home for a bunny inside of an oven door, and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But dumping is just there's a spot in my neighborhood where people will still dump stuff. It's like if you find a spot of woods with a creek, like you might find a couch in there one day. It's awful.
Right. That's dumping. It's either like 500 pounds is usually the standard, or a certain size, like so many cubic feet or something like that. But It's like trash plus, basically. Yeah. And that's the ones where like you can get a really big fine or even jail time. I think in Tennessee you can get up to 6 years for dumping.
Good.
And in most states, if you dump for commercial purposes, like you're a junk hauler, and you go dump in the woods, no matter how much or how little you dump, you can get jail time for that and a pretty stiff fine. I think in Maryland it's like $30,000. And of course it should be that way. The problem is like I think the fine for littering is either not enough to deter people who do litter still, or it's unevenly applied, apparently, like jaywalking. Remember we talked about in the short stuff episode that jaywalking tickets are not distributed equally among the races in America?
Yeah, same deal with littering, right?
Yeah, same thing.
So they can take your driver's license. Mm-hmm. If you litter from a car in certain states, you can have your vehicle taken away. I think that's only for dumping, not like throwing your fast food out the window.
No, huh?
But they should take your car.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you drove your car to the woods and had 500 pounds of McDonald's packaging in your car, they could take your car.
We do have a lot of statistics, though, and Dave gave us statistics from 2 years, 2009 and then 2020, and we'll explain why in a second. But in 2009, their big study said that there were 51.2 billion pieces of litter along America's roadways alone, just on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. That's more than 6,700 pieces of litter per mile, and 90% of that was less than 4 inches. And I think 38% of that is cigarette stuff, cigarette packs, cigarette butts.
Yeah, old dip cans. I think lighters falls under that tobacco product category. So tobacco products are far and away the most littered thing. But cigarette butts are far and away the most littered part of tobacco products too.
Yeah, and I think cigarette butts are the last holdout for people who ordinarily wouldn't litter that justify it. Mm-hmm. Like I will see cigarette butts flying out of a car with a environmental license plate. I've seen it, and I'm just like, what is going on here?
Granddaddy would be so mad at you.
I think people justify it. They don't want a lot of cars don't even have ashtrays anymore. Like I think you have to request one. Mm-hmm. And people don't want them stinking up their car, so they'll just throw them outside.
It's true. It is true. There's just no way around it. I can't tell you how many cigarette butts I littered in my lifetime.
You have made your penance, though, my friend.
Huh?
You have paid your penance. I probably threw fast food out the window when I was 14, you know? It's shameful. We're more evolved.
Well, thanks for letting me off the hook. I feel great now.
You're like, you threw fast food trash out the window?
Right, you monster.
In what year?
I just threw out hundreds of thousands of cigarette butts.
We'll talk more about the negative effect of tobacco products, but the other year Dave sent us was 2020, and it said, oh, look, things have decreased by 54% from 2009, and cigarette butts even dropped from 18 billion to 5.7 billion.
I believe that.
The caveat, well, a lot of people, not as many people smoke, so that makes sense. But it was also during the pandemic, like the height of the pandemic.
Right.
And nobody was driving. So I don't even know why they did a study that year unless they wanted to sort of shine the metal on their chest.
That's what I think. I think so. Because I think if you, you'd have to be silly to conduct a study like that and not think like, oh, these results are going to be skewed. Everybody in the middle of 2020 knew any data that came out of 2020 was going to be unusual.
So they went, hey, let's get out there and count the trash.
Exactly. Let's show everybody that this disposable packaging thing's not a problem anymore. Because I hear them getting mad about it again.
I wonder how they do that. Do they just count a certain number of miles in different places and then extrapolate it?
So I know in the 2009 methodology, I believe they used the same one for 2020, but they selected 240 different roadway segments.
Okay, yeah.
They did 300 feet by 15 feet segments, so basically right along the shoulder of the road for quite a ways. 240 of those in different parts of the country. And they literally counted every piece of trash. And they divided them up into two sizes, 4 inches and bigger. Mm-hmm. And then less than 4 inches. And again, in any category or like overall, cigarette butts were far and away the most. But if you then go kind of take it down to the 4 inch or less category, it's like all cigarette butts basically. But that's how they did it. And then they did the math and extrapolated to the amount of roadway in the United States, and that's where they came up with those numbers. So any stretch of road that you're driving down in America, on each side has probably about 6,800 pieces of trash just sitting there. I mean, I know you already said it, but I think it bears repeating.
Great. If we wanted to break down percentages more, you have paper litter was about 21.9%. Mm-hmm. Part of the big problem there is what's called instant litter, which are those dumb free newspapers and flyers that nobody wants.
Yeah, but somebody like put some effort into laying it out and designing it. You know, even it's just sad for them to a certain extent, but it is, nobody wants it. It's true.
I mean, it's a job. Sure. Instant litter, though, if you're, that's a good TV character or movie character. It's like, what do you do for a living? I'm a copywriter for instant litter.
Right.
Feel great about that.
Yeah. That sounds like a character from Reality Bites.
Yeah.
You know?
Plastic is another obviously big problem. They come in third at 19%.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, that it was that much or that little?
Yeah, I thought that percentage was a little low. I thought its share would probably be more, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because plastic isn't just a plastic bottle. Like, that's an obvious thing, but any tiny, like, plastic gum wrapper, any little piece of plastic is counted as plastic, obviously.
Fritos wrapper, that's plastic film. Mm-hmm.
That's not foil?
No. It's shiny Mylar plastic film.
Yeah, like a balloon.
Exactly. You can blow it up and take it to your kid's birthday and say, "Happy birthday. Here's a Frito balloon, chump."
Almost 6% metal, about 4.5% glass, and then 4.2% is organic litter, which we should talk about quickly because a lot of people think, I can just throw my apple core or my banana peel out the window, and you shouldn't do that.
No, this is something that like I could have guessed, but I would still once in a while throw like an apple core or something out like that.
Well, do you want to share why we shouldn't do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. One, and this is why I did it. I thought it was quickly and easily biodegradable and compostable, and that at the very least, if it wasn't eaten, it just went away pretty quickly. And there was a study done in Grand Canyon National Park that where the scientists who used to hike around the park buried like an orange peel, a banana peel, and what was the other thing? Like a Kleenex, I think?
Chewing gum and a Kleenex.
And left them for 6 months and came and dug them back up and nothing. There was like basically no change. Like the banana peel turned like dark brown or black. That was about it. Like they had not decomposed at all. So that kind of like does away with it. And yes, it was in the Grand Canyon. So I'm sure in like the Florida Everglades, it would probably decompose more. But the point is it's not decomposing in any really quick manner. And then secondly, Chuck, apparently if that other thought I had where it's like, well, you know, an animal would love this apple core. They don't. And even if they do, they shouldn't really have it anyway, right?
Yeah, and just a quick correction. She didn't actually bury it. She left it out in a cage so it was exposed to the elements where animals could get to it.
She did both. There was a second part where she buried it. I was setting you up for the first part.
Oh, okay. Well, the first part is, yeah, she left it. It was an open cage, so it's not like they were trapping animals. But right. I think the point is no animals were eating it, or at least not as much as people thought. But it's not good for them. It teaches them to hang around roadways and near trails and stuff like that, instead of, you know, getting their regular natural organic diet like deep into the woods.
Right.
And it looks bad. You know, that black banana peel is going to be there for a while.
Yeah, it's true. One of the other problems with litter, that the impact it has on wildlife, there's an estimate that's kind of bandied about all over the place, is that about 1 million animals a year die from litter, I believe in the United States alone. A lot of them are aquatic animals. We talked about like ghost fishing. That definitely would qualify as aquatic litter. But also like if you throw a bottle out or something, an animal might crawl in there and it can't get back out. There's a lot of dead animals that you'll find like trapped inside a can or a bottle, which is a really direct harm that your litter can leave on wildlife as well.
For sure. I think the takeaway here in terms of food is just like, don't throw anything on your walk or out of your car. Nothing.
Pack it in, pack it out. That's the mantra.
Then you're all set. You've done everything right.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I'll never throw an apple core, an orange peel, or a banana peel out anymore.
And you know what I always say, there is no apple core. You eat the whole thing.
I know. Well, then I would throw out my uneaten portion of apple that I could eat if I were crazy.
Throw away the stem and the seeds. Maybe a new apple tree will grow in its place.
Yeah. I would love to grow an apple tree. I love apples.
Should we take Joshy Appleseed? Should we take a break? All right, we'll be right back with litter.
Well, now, when you're on the road, driving in your truck, why not learn a thing or two from Josh and Chuck? It's stuff you should know. Stuff you should know. All right.
This is Tamara Judge from Two Teas in a Pod with Teddy Mellencamp and Tamara Judge. Tamara here. As you know, my dog Rugby is like one of my kids, and I don't play around when it comes to taking care of him. Chewy is where I get everything he needs. He loves food, so always stocking up on treats and toys from Chewy, which my husband Eddie likes to buy for him. It always shows up fast, which is exactly how I like things. Chewy also handles the serious stuff, prescriptions, pet insurance, and the telehealth vet visits. And now they're opening up vet clinics across the country. And their 24/7 customer service, they just understand pet people. Plus, with Chewy's 1-year satisfaction guarantee, trying new things is never stressful. Chewy just makes caring for Rugby easier, and that matters to me. For life with pets, the answer is Chewy. Save $20 on your first order with free shipping at chewpanions.chewy.com/teapot.
Joy is essential, and it's also elusive. You can't order it, you can't borrow it, or simply hope it into life. But now, there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. It's a new podcast hosted by me, Hoda Kotb. Together, guys, we'll have meaningful conversations with the world's most fascinating people. Entertainment legends, sports icons, wellness experts, and everyday people will share how they find, allow, and experience joy. And I'll offer some of my own tips and takes on seeking a more balanced and harmonious life. If you're craving inspiration, support, and useful tools to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Joy after a breakup, joy as an empty nester, joy after a loss, joy as a caretaker. This new podcast will speak to you. Listen to Joy 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Alec Baldwin. This season on my podcast, Here's the Thing, I'm speaking with more artists, policymakers, and performers like composer Mark Shaman.
Once you've established that you have the talent, it's about the hang. It's the pleasure of hanging out with the people that you're with. You know, Rob and I was always a great hang. We would sit and kibitz for hours and then eventually get around to the music. That's what I mostly think of when I think of him, the time together laughing.
Lawyer Robbie Kaplan.
The great gift of being a lawyer is the ability to actually change things in our society in a way that very few people can. I mean, you can really make a difference to causes in the United States if you bring the right case at the right time.
Marriage equality.
Yeah, Windsor's the perfect example.
Director Morgan Neville.
Film school teaches you all the wrong things about making documentary. What do you want to say? Documentary is all about your ear. What do you hear? I feel like my job is listening really, really hard.
Listen to Here's the Thing on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What did Black music, food, and culture teach us about who we were becoming?
2016 was sort of that last era of monoculture, where we still consumed things in community.
From Beyonce and Rihanna.
Everybody wanted to be Beyonce.
I don't think we'll ever see another Rihanna.
To soul food, memory, identity, and the stories we carry through Black culture.
What does it mean to be Black and eat in America?
So we were this group of people who knew how to work the land, who knew how to live with the land.
We make it do what it do.
Therapy for Black Girls is bringing together the conversation shaping Black life right now.
You will never make me feel bad for being a Black girl, for being a Black American girl, ever.
Therapy for Black Girls is bringing it all to the mic. Listen to Therapy for Black Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stuff you should know.
All right. The other thing that Keep America Beautiful does is they try and figure out who these people are. They've done phone surveys in the 1960s. I think 68 in a telephone survey, 50% of Americans said that they littered. 15% said they did in 2009. Mm-hmm. Take that for what it is. It's a phone survey. Mm-hmm. And then they also sort of scope out areas near convenience stores and fast food restaurants and city sidewalks, and they just look at behavior. And this in 2009, that same study, they found it was close to 10,000 disposable behaviors that they looked at, and 17% of those were litter behaviors, and 81% of those litter behaviors were on purpose.
Yeah, they call them notable intent.
Like I'm throwing it out the window. It's not something that flew out of my car by accident.
Yeah, exactly. And the way that they came up with notable intent was there like a garbage can in easy access, or was there like an ash can in easy access that was visible and the people saw it and just didn't use it anyway? There's a significant portion of people who litter just litter. They just do it anyway, even though there's plenty of like trash cans or ash cans right there. And then the other percentage, the other 15% of people who littered did it in the context of there not being a trash can nearby, or slightly less acceptable that There was one, but it was really far away. It was all the way over there, you know?
Well, and the other one too is what fell into context, and this is something you sent some other stuff about, is that people are more likely to litter when they see other litter.
Yeah. So
this place is dirty anyway.
There's people that study this stuff, the psychology of littering. There's that study I found was, I think, from 1990, if I'm not mistaken. And these social psychologists, Cialdini, Reno, and Calgreen, they basically set people up by taking them to a parking deck. And the parking deck was either heavily littered or it was spotless, right? So those were two variables. And then in each instance, the people saw somebody litter, one of those instant litter flyers, in either a heavily littered parking deck or a non-littered parking deck. And then they were sent back to their car, and their car had that same flyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they would see whether the people would litter based on having seen somebody else do it, and then whether it was a clean place or a heavily littered place. And they found that seeing somebody litter in a heavily littered place made them much, much likelier to litter.
Yeah.
But that the people, this is I think the most interesting thing. People who saw this person litter in a clean parking deck were far less likely to litter. They were the least likely to litter. So it's like seeing somebody else violate this social norm strengthens an individual's sense of responsibility to not violate that norm themselves. Like it ticks them off and makes them less likely to litter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you have an already littered place, it's going to attract more litter. Litter begets litter.
Yeah. I sort of littered recently in a way on my way into the SEC championship game here in Atlanta. We were, like everybody was walking with their beers toward the stadium. And there was one part where they funneled you through what I guess was our MARTA, our subway system's property. And so there were people there that were like, you can't take this through there. And everyone was like, oh, geez. And there were probably 1,200 beer cans on the sidewalk right there because they were saying, drop it right here. Didn't have cans or anything. And then on the way out, every single one of those cans was gone. So they cleaned them up during the game. And it was, I guess, part of the plan. But it was very strange to just throw your beer can on the ground because you're being told to.
Sure. Litter. Do it.
Yeah. And also everyone, power drinking at the end like a bunch of dopes.
Right.
But can't waste a half a beer.
But knowing somebody's going to clean it up also influences the likelihood that you're going to litter. It increases the likelihood you'll litter.
Yeah, like a park that is maintained or whatever.
Yeah, for me it was always a movie theater. Yeah. Until somebody was finally like, you still just don't leave it there. Just throw it away. Like
the trash can is right on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. But this was before they had the big prominent trash cans. Like they had small, slender little trash cans.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I did that for many, many years.
Yeah, I wondered about that today, if people would be more responsible in movie theaters if they didn't clean up between movies. And you walked in and saw a bunch of old garbage.
Right.
And you were like, oh, what's that doing here? And if they said like, sorry, we're not cleaning up we're not your parents.
Yeah, there's like a poorly handmade sign from somebody that says this office is not your parents' house. You got to do your own dishes.
I was always good in movie theaters because I've always had a guilt of, and Hodgman talks about it a lot, is being aware of the work you leave for others. And I know, and I even had people to be like, they come in here and clean it. And I was like, well, that's one less popcorn bag that they have to clean up then. It's like, it's fine.
True. Yeah,
but people would argue with me for doing it.
Yeah, and you should never encourage somebody to litter anyway. Like, it's true. Like, yeah, I don't think I would have told you to just go ahead and litter.
No.
Who knows? I don't know.
You just thought it was weird.
But I think to answer your question, though, based on the studies I've seen, the more litter you found in a movie theater, the more likely you'd be to just litter on top of it.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
So it could be self-defeating. Again, you want to make a strong social norm against littering, and then you want to keep places clean And then in that context, if you see somebody littering, you're far less likely to litter. That's like the perfect storm of non-littering from what I saw.
Yeah.
But I have one more thing, Chuck, about the that 2009 Keep America Beautiful study. You said that they were hanging around like convenience stores and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they would observe some people littering. I think they observed like 23 people littering. Or no, they observed like almost 2,000. I can't remember what the point was. No. Okay, I'm sorry. I got this. You ready?
Yeah.
So they would actually do these interventions. I think they did about 100 of them, where they would go up to people in the like convenience store or in the parking lot or whatever, and just ask them about littering. And some of those people, I think 23 of them, they had just seen litter. And they didn't go confront the people about littering. They just went and surveyed them and pretend they hadn't seen it. So they would ask everybody, have you littered within the last month? And 8 of those 23 people said, no, I have not littered in the last month. Even though the study person had just seen them litter, they lied about it. So it makes you wonder about the veracity of that phone survey you mentioned earlier.
I wonder if they said, no, I haven't littered in the past month, except for just a minute ago.
Yeah.
What'd you say, sir? Nothing. To button up the cigarette butt thing, they are plastic as well. They're not biodegradable. They're made of cellulose acetate, and they take decades to break down. And it's also tobacco products, which has nicotine and arsenic and heavy metals and all kinds of nasty toxins. And those get in the soil. Those leach into the ground. Those fall into a waterway. Mm-hmm. Those get made into a bird's nest, and it's poison. Mm-hmm. There was a researcher that did an experiment where they put one cigarette butt in a gallon of water, and that was enough to kill half of the fish inside, just a cigarette butt floating and dissolving in there.
Right, and not just from the plastic, from like the nicotine, the heavy metals, the arsenic, all the stuff that gets trapped into a used cigarette butt once a full cigarette's been smoked through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kills the fish.
Kills half of them. That's
right.
So if you're the person with the Keep America Beautiful sticker on your car and you're throwing your cigarette butts out the window because you don't like the smell, just do a little soul searching.
Dave turned up a company called Green Butts that has come up with truly compostable cigarette butts made of like manila hemp and flax and I think cotton. And they have it so ready that tobacco companies would simply have to buy them and put them in their assembly lines, make no change whatsoever. And apparently it hasn't taken off. I'm guessing because of cost.
That would be my guess too.
Yeah.
If you want to fix littering, stop littering.
That's step one.
You can go a step further and pick up trash.
Yeah, step two.
We have a program in our neighborhood, like an official program where neighbors get together like once a month and do it. And I donate my pickup truck to haul the trash away. Mm-hmm. And we pick stuff up on our walks all the time. And you can, the Swedes invented something called plogging, which is where you take a bag with you when you jog.
Yeah.
And pick stuff up. So, pick stuff up if you can.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah,
not every
take a little
time.
baggie with you on a walk.
Yeah, more like a grocery bag.
And I think there's still bottle deposit laws here and there too, right?
Yeah, there's like 10 states that have it, which, I mean, that's good. That's definitely a start. 10 states and Guam. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave you guys out. And that's a good way to go. It's getting back to reusable. And the fact that that structure's already there means you can easily adopt it in other states. You just get it started. And some of those states probably used to do it before. But I think the upshot of the whole thing is like until we do something about the source of litter, which is actually disposable packaging, until we do something about that, we're always going to have a problem with it. Like it's just never going to go away.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't mean to litter, sometimes it just happens. Like if you're a garbage truck or you're hauling your trash in the back of a pickup truck and some of it flies out, like that counts as litter, and that happens quite a bit. So we need to start focusing more on the supply side, not just the consumer side.
I slung a Christmas tree out of the back of my truck the other day onto the middle of Memorial Drive.
That's litter.
I pulled up to a stoplight and people were honking at me next door, and I was like, what? They said, you dropped your tree back there. I went, oh, thank you.
Right. You're like, well, go get it. I'll wait here.
Yeah, it was And Memorial Drive's busy and fast. And I thought, what a way to go out, getting hit by a car, pulling my old Christmas tree out of the street.
Merry Christmas!
There's the headline. Little known podcaster dies trying to do the right thing.
You got anything else?
I got nothing else. Don't litter. That's it.
That's a good one to wrap it up with, Chuck. And since Chuck said don't litter, it's time for listener mail.
I'm going to call this Funny Bone follow-up.
Okay.
And this is from... Who is this from? A doctor of physical therapy.
Okay.
Has answers. Chuck has said when he goes to get a massage and the massage therapist rolls something up and down, then his hand curls up and in. You were thinking this had to do with a nerve. Actually, it's because of a length tension relationship with the flexor muscles in your arm. The tendons of your forearm muscles are very long and run through the carpal tunnel to allow tension to be applied through the tendon when you want to bend your wrist. This also means, however, that when enough pressure is applied to the muscle belly, love that term.
Yeah, that's great.
It causes a motion similar to a muscle contraction that allows for the wrist to bend. You also question why cubital tunnel syndrome and tennis elbow weren't called the same thing. It's because they're very different. Cubital tunnel syndrome refers specifically to the ulnar nerve being entrapped by tissues or swelling within the cubital tunnel, whereas tennis elbow is actually an injury to the extensor tendons in your forearm. It is a tendinitis.
I see. That would explain that for sure.
Samantha, the doctor of physical therapy in northern Wisconsin.
Muscle belly? Am I dreaming? Is that really what was just said?
Muscle Belly, our new band.
That's pretty
You'd be
great.
like Daft Punk, just the two of us.
That's right.
You'd be Muscle, I'd be Belly.
Or like Sparks.
Yeah, I love how into Sparks you are now.
So, I was just listening to Number One Song in Heaven album before this. Cleaning
I think
the
they're
bathroom.
touring now again soon.
They are, as a matter of fact, Chuck, and they're coming to Atlanta.
You going?
I don't believe we're going to be around to make it.
Oh, Muscle Belly.
If you want to be like Samantha and let us know some great new term plus a bunch of other physiological information, we love that kind of thing. You can send it to us via email at stuffpodcast@iheartradio.com.
Stuff You Should Know is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
This is Tamara Judge from Two Teas in a Pod with Teddy Mellencamp and Tamara Judge. Tamara here. As you know, my dog Rugby is like one of my kids, and I don't play around when it comes to taking care of him. Chewy is where I get everything he needs. He loves food, so always stocking up on treats and toys from Chewy, which my husband Eddie likes to buy for him. It always shows up fast, which is exactly how I like things. Chewy also handles the serious stuff, prescriptions, pet insurance, and the telehealth vet visits. And now they're opening up vet clinics across the country. And their 24/7 customer service, they just understand pet people. Plus, with Chewy's 1-year satisfaction guarantee, trying new things is never stressful. Chewy just makes caring for Rugby easier, and that matters to me. For life with pets, the answer is Chewy. Save $20 on your first order with free shipping at chewpanions.chewy.com/teapod.
Joy is essential and it's also elusive. But now there's a new and exciting way to start your journey toward a more joyful existence. Joy 101. It's a new podcast hosted by me, Hoda Kotb. If you're craving inspiration, support, and useful tools to maximize your joy, tune into these candid, uplifting, and moving on-air chats. Listen to Joy 101 on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.